Yo, Endeavor may have been a terrible father and husband, although in this episode, he showed to be an excellent mentor for the boys. Oh my, here we go again. Finally, an episode has dropped from Academia Anime since its break from last week. Now here we are, and this episode had a lot to offer, which ties to the League of Villains and within the Endeavor Agency. Now with that said, let's address what happened in the beginning portion of this episode. And it pretty much picks up with Hawks giving out these red books to the pro heroes, and you see Hawks in a dark setting room with another person who appreciates what Hawks is doing. And you can tell from the setting that this person talking to Hawks doesn't seem like someone who has good intentions, which might be the case. As it zooms out from this mysterious person surrounded by the League of Villains who are present there, we see Twice, Dabby, Spinner, Mr. Compress, and Toga, who's scrolling on her iPad or whatever, seemingly bored of what she's doing until her eyes lit up when she saw a photo of Deku doing hero work in the Endeavor Agency. Then as the meeting continues and ends, Hawks leaves the room. However, it should be noted that Hawks leaves a feather behind, and it turns out Hawks left it there on purpose to hear any comments being made after his absence, using it like a spying gadget chip. And it turned out to be a good move on Hawks' behalf, as it was revealed by Toga that in 4 months' time, the Liberation Army and League of Villains would do a large-scale attack. Akatsuki Japan mentioned that Shigaraki would be the one who destroyed everything with a boom. And that's where the whole coding for Endeavor to figure it out ended up, and why it had to be used with the book, as Hawks was being cautious with this delicate information. Now with that dreading attack to be planned in 4 months' time, in the Endeavor Agency, the trio Bakugo, Deku, and Shoto were present. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention in my last video, but there has been a sidekick name revealed from the agency, whose hero's name goes by Blazin, a woman who has a fire quirk, although from what it looks like, her quirk is a fire quirk that's apparent all over her hair, and what makes it more unique, her fire color is a lime green color, which as a manga reader I always thought her hair was like reddish color, but in my opinion this lime color looks good on her. And now as a person on who she is, well, how can I put this? She talks whatever is in her mind and has a burning personality with no pun intended. She's quite enthusiastic and tends to get Bakugo annoyed with how she is. Now in the agency, Deku wants to be able to use his new quirk and be familiarized with it. Bakugo's reason to join is to figure out what he can do. He elaborates that even though he has one quirk, he's versatile because of his explosion quirk. And during his time UA, he learned that being strong isn't enough to make someone like himself to be truly strong, which all goes along with his goal on becoming the #1 hero. Shoto joined well because of his father, but he put himself first, that he's joined Endeavor's agency, not because of him, but by his own free will, and wants his father to drop the parent act in front of his friends, revealing to his dad that he's serious on this. Endeavor hearing this sees Shoto isn't here to get along with him, but wanting to improve himself, as he now realizes that he was foolish to believe that Shoto wanted to be closer with him while in the agency. After hearing all three of them, Endeavor tells them he'll look at them as heroes. Then it transitions to the four of them doing basic hero work, and Endeavor explains to them the three basic aspects of what a hero needs to offer, which are rescue, evacuation, and fighting. In Endeavor's work, he does things with parallel processing and swift response. In this patrol, Endeavor asks them to do all these things as their new norm. Not so long after, as the first incident happens, Endeavor quickly takes flight as the others try to keep up with him. As the incident had Endeavor confronted a hit or run, Shoto realizes when Endeavor was using his flames to speed up by compressing and turning into a propulsion, since he has that same quirk. After that incident was taken care of, Endeavor takes off, and as the others follow. Shoto takes that propulsion control into action along with him using the ice quirk. The Endeavor talks to Bakugo what he wanted to know and what he couldn't do. He tells Bakugo his movements are good for a rookie, which Bakugo tries to explain is the winter season. Endeavor, however, didn't want to hear that excuse, as he explains if that happens in real life, a person's life could be on the line. As we see Endeavor stopping a truck from hitting a civilian walking across the street, proving his point. Endeavor, with his experience, gives advice to both Shoto and Bakugo to condense their power to be able to release your maximum output and power. Later, then Endeavor tells Deku his advice, saying to him to practice his Air Force move without thinking, and for the time being to forget about the Black Whip quirk for now until he masters Air Force, with those amazing observation skills done by Endeavor to help the trio to become better using their quirks. Like a great mentor, as he explains how parallel processing works to Deku by being able to do two things at once without thinking, and by mastering that, add another thing to it, which is essentially what Deku's trying to do, as well as Bakugo and Shoto doing it with their own quirks. Then as Endeavor follows up with an amazing speech that your power is your own foundation, as you're the one accumulating it, as Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto are now understanding how to improve themselves and know they have to take things one thing at a time and to improve from there on out, as the episode ends there. Well, I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect Endeavor to become that amazing of a mentor to his students. Without doubt, from this episode alone, you can see the work rate this man has, which puts him as a spot on #2 hero for so long while competing against All Might when All Might was the #1 hero. But anyway, you got to admire how he keeps up with the tremendous amount of work he has to put up with from time to time. Also, providing providing advice to Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto while gaining the experience of an everyday hero. Overall, I do really like this episode. We get to see this other side of Endeavor. We finally see the appearance of the other League of Villains members, as well as the whereabouts of the other Class A, Class B students working in other agencies. Now, with all that wrapped up, I want to say thanks for watching this video, and if you do, please give this video a like. And if you want to consider subscribing to my channel for more Macadamia content. And see y'all next time, next video. Peace.